Hey mathematicians, let's do your homework. Okay, if you were in first period, we didn't get this far, so this is kind of new. You can figure it out, but watch this because it's a much faster way than what we've been talking about. If you're in every other period, then this one shouldn't be as new. So you're given two sides of a triangle, and you need to figure out what the third side could possibly be. So remember that the two sides have to always add up to be bigger than the third side. So we can call that third side x, unknown. 7 plus 12 is 19. So we know that 19 is bigger than whatever x could be. But that's assuming that our biggest side is the one that's missing. Maybe our biggest side is 12. If our biggest side was 12, then we'd say, okay, 7 plus our unknown side has to be bigger than 12. And to isolate x, you'd have to subtract 7 from both sides. So x would have to be bigger than 5. When you put them together so that you're only writing x one time, it looks like x is less than 19 but greater than 5. That's how you write the range. Now, to avoid all this extra scratch work, basically what we did for our first number was we added the two sides. 15 plus 20 makes 35. That's bigger than one of the sides. Or, if 20 is actually the biggest side, then we can subtract. 20 minus 15 is 5, so that's the smallest range. Now, actually, it's not exactly the smallest because it cannot equal 5. We have to have a side length that is somewhere smaller than 35 but bigger than 5. So like 19, that could work. 22, 6, 5.002. That's bigger than 5 and smaller than 35, so those are all options for what that third side could be. So one last time for the folks who are in first period who didn't quite get all the way through the lesson today, you add them as if the missing side is the biggest. 1 plus 5 is 6. It's greater than our missing side, because two sides always have to add up to be greater than the third. Or, if we were doing the whole isolation process of, okay, 1 and something where 5 is the biggest, well, when we isolate it and subtract 5 minus 1, that means x has to be bigger than 4. 3 measurements are given. Decide whether the 3 sides could be used to create a triangle. Okay, everybody did this part. So if it's a triangle, then 1 no means no. 3 yeses mean yes. So I'm going to pick this one right here. It looks like it's an isosceles triangle because it has 2 of the 5s that are the same, 2 sides that are the same. And I'm going to test. Smallest plus medium is bigger than the biggest. 2 plus 5 is 7. That is bigger than 5. 2 plus, this 5 is bigger than this 5. Also true. And last but not least, 5 plus 5 is bigger than 2. Yup. So yes, this is a triangle. If you get 1 no, you don't have to do any more work. You can just say no. Decide whether each of the following could be the third side. Write a yes or no. That's what we did up here. So my two sides are 5 and 8. Maybe this is the biggest side. That means I would add 5 plus 8, and it would have to be bigger than that side. 5 plus 8 is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13 is the biggest. It cannot be bigger than 13. Oh, can't be equal to 13. Can't be bigger than 13. Also, what if 8 is the biggest? Well, then we isolate our variable. 8 minus 5. Okay, that can, whatever that number is, because I'm not doing it for you, is going to be the lower limit. You cannot have anything that is equal or less than that number. On the back. Story problem. Every single one of our homeworks is going to have a word problem, so make sure you give yourself enough time. You're taking a road trip to Harvard University in Massachusetts, my home state. For every hour, you drive 55 miles. 1 hour, 55 miles. 2 hours, 55 and 55, or 55 times 2. 3 hours, 55 and 55 and 55, or 55 times 3. 4 hours, you get the idea. 5 hours, oh look, what are we doing? Is this multiplicative or additive? You need to figure that out in your head. Also, what do I keep saying? 1 hour, oh wait, this is hours. Or time, you could call it time, and then say your units are hours. So you need to answer this problem. You need to, oh wait, that answer can go right here, that's nice. Ooh, decimals. Every single one of these multiplicative problems is times your miles per hour, 55. So this answer, probably going to have a decimal in it. This answer, going to have a decimal in it. Ooh, if we're going this way, times 55, then doing the opposite of times 55 is divide by 55. So 2,420 divided by 55 will give you the answer right here. If I can't see the work on your page, it never happened. So do not do it in a calculator and then tell me, oh, I forgot my other page of scratch work. Just put your scratch work on the page. A couple of you breezed right past this graph. That's a problem. It's a very big one. It's worth a lot of points. You need to, oh boy, you need to draw a straight line. You need to label this dependent axis. Ooh, dependent. You need to label this independent axis. It's the other one I did not just circle. You need to figure out, ooh, you're probably never going to get like 22.5 on this. But if there are 14 sections, I don't think you can count by ones. 14 doubled is 28. I don't think you can count by twos. 14 tripled is 30, 40, something. You might be getting close because you only need to graph 4 points. So maybe you could do that. Also, don't miss out on the easiest point to graph of a multiplicative relationship. It's not even on the table, but you know that multiplicative relationships go through this point, and that counts as a point. Okay, I'm done. What's the independent variable and the dependent variable? I kind of already told you. What are the independent values? These are numbers. What are the dependent values? Also numbers. Is this relationship additive? Oops, I forgot the word or. That's embarrassing. Or multiplicative. Literally, you're just writing one of those words. I'm pretty sure I've already told you maybe 4 different times in this video what type of relationship it is. How do you know? Write me your reasoning. Write an equation for the, oh boy, this is what happens when I copy paste in a PDF. For the relationship between miles driven and hours. If it's multiplicative, okay, great. Then you need an X, then you need a Y, then you need an equal sign, then you need the number that you use in every single one of these tables. I wrote it twice on the table. You need that number. And now we're done with our homework.